My name is Sarah Hees and I live in East Maitland in New South Wales in Australia. So I'm a licensed builder in New South Wales. I do residential projects and I do co-housing projects. I joined the course because I could see that clients coming to me had a lot of stumbling blocks. They had a lot of expectations. Some didn't have much experience in building previously. People were coming to me with problems that they needed solving, and I was looking for a way to direct clients through a process so that we could start at A and finish at Z and guide them through that. And I started following Amelia maybe, I don't know, 12 months beforehand or 8 months beforehand or so. And I just thought that looks like a really solid course that would inform me of the issues that clients typically have. And it will also give me a good understanding of where they're at in terms of their knowledge, their wishes, their wants, and what's blocking them in moving forward. So doing Amelia's course, I was able to, I guess, use her system in part to guide my own clients through the build process and to look at it from the client's point of view instead of the builder's point of view, to be able to understand both sides of the equation more. So yes. Well, what I see in the residential building market where I live is a lot of lack of education with people who are embarking on a build in terms of design. They might have a whole heap of photos or a mood board, an idea. They think they need, 5 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms, but there's only 2 people living in the home. So there's a real disconnect between what people thought they wanted, what people probably actually need, how to achieve really good long-term sustainable design outcomes for their home, and also a big disconnect between the budget they had and what they wanted to build. So I found Amelia's course really takes them through a multi-step process that is sequential in order and really gets them thinking about what they want to achieve, and also gets them to be quite realistic about how they can achieve it. It always takes longer than you expect. Always. I think a lot of people, might watch reality TV shows and think that it just happens, in a few weeks. I believe that 80% of everything needs to be done up front. Your brief, your budget needs to be determined first. You need to do really good site assessment to see, and town planning to see what you can actually achieve with that site. Then it comes down to your actual building envelope. And then it comes down to how your family lives, how you want to live your life. Then it comes to budget. So it's tying all those things together. And I guess the main thing is you're doing it by yourself as a homeowner, and you're, I guess, essentially project managing your own job. It does take a significant amount of time just to get to the development application stage. And then often where we live, a development application can take quite a significant amount of time to get approved. There's obviously different ways you can do complying developments, which a building certifier will ratify, but if you're going through the local government planning organisation, they can take a lot of time. So people have got to be realistic. I think Amelia really spells out the steps and the processes and digs down into why these things take time and why it's so important that you get your decisions right. So you're doing things once, you're doing them properly, you're doing them well. It always takes longer than people expect. But Amelia's course guides people through this process and sets their expectations as well. Yes, I do. I've been using Amelia's Brief Builder with quite a few clients, and I find that a really comprehensive starting point for a lot of people. And she makes this document available in her course, and it's very comprehensive, and it really nuts out where people are at the beginning. So I have sort of preliminary meetings with clients, and before I actually meet them, I get them to give them me as much information as they have, and to also give me their brief that explains in detail, you know, what they're hoping to achieve. And I also things like how do you want your house to feel? Yeah, it's an emotional thing as well, and we often use that process to educate people about and give them options, to say, yeah, your brief's here and your budget's here and your lifestyle is here. So how are we going to marry this all up and make it work through the design process and the build for you? So yeah, it has assisted a lot. It gives me structure on that end of the build, essentially, or, you know, before we get to construction. And we get some really comprehensive documentation generated from that brief. That's in play for the whole job, essentially. Yeah. I can't even remember now. I'm a bit of a scroller, you know, online, just looking out for, you know, like-minded professionals, I guess, who I think are doing good work. And that's right, I started listening to Amelia's podcast. I think I was painting a ceiling somewhere one night, you know, randomly. I was like, what can I listen to? And yeah, I listened to all of Amelia's podcasts. And I just really liked her approach, and I applaud the work she's doing because it is so badly needed, this education program for homeowners, to understand, you know, the construction industry and building and design. Her emphasis on design is critical, given that we're facing climate change and, you know, we've got all sorts of issues with waste and resource and need to be climate resilient, and, you know, it's really, she's providing an amazing service. So she talks about volume and light and indoor-out connection. So you have a house that a family can live in that serves for toddlers, teenagers, grandparents, guests, you know, maybe an adult child living in that house. So and using space well, and not wasting space. So I think she's very good in getting people to think about how they live their life. She also gives out, I think, standard room templates and linen sizes and, you know, the ideal bathroom, and she talks about ergonomics. One of her things that she does is she has this thing she calls a home command centre, which I've actually adopted to with my clients. Somewhere to put your laptop, your keys, charge your phones, put your homework, your notes. It's all in that one spot. You've got a home command centre. If anyone's looking for anything, it'll be there. And I guess that's, you know, more directed at families, you know, with busy lives and lots of kids and whatever. But I think it can be applied to anyone, really. Just keeps you organised. No. I don't think there's anyone like her in the market, to be honest. I don't think anyone, she has such a strong value set and such affinity with her homeowners. She's, you know, she's very, very clever person, and she's very, her courses are really well structured, and she's obviously put a lot of legwork into it. And she's very, very thorough and comprehensive. And she's not trying to sell you something. She's trying to show you how you can have a better life, essentially, and how you can achieve the build you want. So she's in a great position of trust, and she deserves that. She's exceptional. And I think she's got that unique perspective because she is an architect. You know, she's highly tertiary trained. She's had a lot of industry experience, working for, you know, a big developer, essentially. So she's had a lot of exposure to a lot of things. So she can see the big picture, and she can see where homeowners are falling over. And she's really providing, you know, an active service in running her business, the Undercover Architect, to not just to the homeowners, but also for sustainability and for the construction industry as well, to lift the level of builders, you know, to get them on board. Because a lot of builders struggle with this sort of stuff massively. They're taught their trade. They're not taught how to communicate with homeowners or their clients. They're not taught the business background necessarily. So a lot of them fall over and they don't know why. And I think a course like this can, you know, point them in the right direction, give them lots of tips as to how to avoid difficult situations and how to streamline their business and meet their clients' expectations and set the expectations also for the clients. So, yeah, she's doing remarkable work, really important work. I just thought it was value for money, to be honest. It's all neatly wrapped up in a bow. Everything you want's there, and it's a complete system. And I think it's great value for money. And I was happy to pay. And there was a Facebook group, and you know, we got a little floor plan review, which was really useful. At the time, I was working on my own place. So it's good to get Amelia's feedback, and I actually implemented some of that feedback that she gave me. And that's, yeah, a lot of people I think would like to work with her one-on-one, and she probably doesn't have the time, or people may not have the budget or whatever, but doing that course, they get to have Amelia review their floor plan, and she just goes, boop, 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 change this, change that, no, start again, whatever. And, you know, she would have looked at hundreds and hundreds of floor plans. And she's just like, tweak that, change that, look at this, you know. So, yeah, skilled eye. Not really. I need the time factor because I'm a pretty busy person. You always think that, oh yeah, I'd love to do that, but have I actually got the time to do it properly? And it wasn't a big time commitment, and it was enjoyable. I think if you're passionate and enjoying it, you know, you're going to make it happen. If it aligns with your value set and what you're interested in, you're going to make the time to do it. Sometimes people pay for things like a gym membership and they never rock up. Yeah, they do it out of, you know, oh, because they should get fit or whatever. But yeah, she made it really easy, and the times were suitable, and yeah, and you could always, I think there were playbacks or catch-ups or something. If you missed something, you could go back. I refer to her room templates quite a bit, standard room sizes. That was a really good tool. And the builder brief, or the brief builder as well. I get my clients to use that. So just pulls everything together at the front. We've got all the information at the outset, and that makes a really big difference. And it makes them think. It's a really good tool. I guess I'm probably a bit more assertive with clients, and I'm very much taking the lead with the client, as opposed to them telling me what they want. And I'm also vetting the client as well. I do a lot of that these days, because we're all pretty busy and we've got to get the right fit between client and builder and make sure it's going to be a successful project from, you know, both sides of the fence, essentially. And I think I picked up, you know, that information from Amelia and some other parties, and from her podcast as well. Yeah, and just being straight with people, you know, it's like, oh, sorry, I can't help you in this instance, but, you know, there's other people out there that can help. Definitely, because we set the expectations at the start, and they'd had the opportunity to have a really good deep dive think, using that brief builder of what they want to achieve. And so that gives a snapshot of the job at the beginning, and that drives the project essentially, because it's everything on one document, and we use that to, you know, do the design, do the finishes, do the budget, do this, that, everything else. So, yeah, it's like a, I don't know, it's like the mission statement of the build, I guess. This is, and we nail it down. This is what we're trying to achieve. This is what we're going to achieve. Yeah, it helps you drill down to what you're doing. So, yeah. I would say you don't know what you don't know and go and do the course, because it will have an enduring impact on your life. It will have an enduring impact on your build, on the quality of your build, on the quality of your design, and it will improve your life. And you won't even, if you get it wrong, it's disastrous and you live with it forever. If you get it right, it's magic. So go and do it. I just think, yeah, like I said before, Amelia's doing work that really matters. I think it's a really straightforward, simple, comprehensive course to do, and that, yeah, anyone looking at building will benefit from it immensely. She should be very proud of herself, and I'm thankful and grateful for her.